Hi, so it's me again. I know what I'm about to say may be controversial, but I'm still going to say it anyway. And I would like to hear your opinion. So I'm directing this video to those students that are currently going to be going on CWES internship. Either you are in 300 level or 400 level engineering. And I just want to share a bit of my story. And I think that you can learn a thing or two based on the current age. So if you are going on Suez, either 300 level or 400 level, or you know anyone that is going, please share them this video and let them watch. The first thing that I think you should do is to have it at the back of your mind that that period is a learning period. It's not a time to play. It's not a break. It's actually a learning period. And you are meant to learn all the theories that you've been in the class to marry it with practical. But this is where it gets interesting. And this is why I said it's going to be controversial. I don't believe that you should go into CWES just to focus on what you're studying alone. I think it's a time to explore. And in my case, this is what I did. In my 300 level, when I was doing my internship at an engineering company, I decided to learn a new language. I said I was going to learn a new language, right? And for one reason or the other, I chose Turkish. It was very, very interesting. So I chose Turkish and I started learning Turkish. So I downloaded, videos from YouTube. I was watching their movies. I knew most of the basics and all. And by the time I got to 400 level, right, and I could really have some basic conversations in Turkish. I had no idea why that came to my mind. Guess what? By the time I got to 500 level and I was going to interview for my graduate job, the first ever job I'm going to be getting as a graduate at Procter & Gamble, my hiring manager was someone who was born and bred in Turkey. So when I got to the venue, I just made some research about the hiring manager. I already knew that she was going to be, an Oyinbo and all of that. But I just asked, oh, which country is she from? All those kind, just because I wanted to do some research. And someone told me that, oh, she's actually from Turkey. One of the recruiters told me she's from Turkey and blah, blah. And that's when I remembered I was studying Turkish in 300 level. Guess what? I quickly went back to brush up my Turkish language skills. And by the time I got to the interview, I met her. I first greeted her in her language, Turkish, Maraba. And she first looked at me and like, oh, okay, what's this? What's going on? Then I explained to her how I've always been interested in new languages. And in my 300 level, I was learning Turkish. I had no idea that I was going to meet her, but I learned some basics. So I started telling her all the things that I learned about the bus, autobus, told her about the subway station, and she was so impressed. And then we went on to the interview, like it was just a natural flow. Eventually, out of 200 people who wrote the exams in Ife, only 7 of us got to the second stage, and 3 of us got to the last stage, and I was the only one that was recruited in that batch. I'm saying this to let you know that, first of all, it's not about first class. I wasn't a first class student, but some things are differentiating factors that can differentiate you. So this COS period is actually a time to think about what can really differentiate you when you're looking for a job, because the market is so saturated right now that I wouldn't even advise you to look for a job when you graduate. The second thing that you can do right now, because we are now in a new age, is learn artificial intelligence, learn AI. AI has become a leveler. So for everyone who is going on COS, either in 300 level or 400 level, you have to learn AI. Think about, what you can do with AI within that period. You can actually build a company that eventually may translate into a big thing when you graduate. So think about these two things. If you need some help or you need to join a group where you can, learn AI together, you can actually go to my website, sign up, and then I'll be in touch with you. Remain blessed.